If you are inside Vedantikala, put on your headphones. Move gently along the path. Keep all your senses open. If you are watching from elsewhere and safely seated or resting, open your senses. Your journey through the 11 sacred spaces has brought you here. One step at a time. We are now on a pilgrimage towards homecoming, and immerse into the inner experience. I return. You have walked through 11 sacred spaces. Each space asks something different of you. Each step offered you something to carry forward. At Sacred Step 1, the Shinrin-Yoku walk, you began with awareness. You learned to notice the path beneath you, the world around you, and the life moving quietly within you. At Sacred Step 2, the Whispering Tree, you entered listening. You learned that not every answer arrives through words. Sometimes we need to become quiet enough to hear what life has been saying all along. At Sacred Step 3, 528 Hz love frequency, you encountered love. Not only the love we receive from another, but the love that can arise when the walls within us begin to soften. At Sacred Step 4, Ganesha Kaveri manifestation, you explored manifestation. You learned that intention alone is not enough. What we create begins with what we choose, what we nurture, and what we are willing to bring into our lives. At Sacred Step 5, Om Ganga Wishing Well, you entered surrender. You placed something into the flow, a wish, a burden, a hope, and you learned that there are moments when holding tighter is not the answer. At Sacred Step 6, Gita Chakra, you entered wisdom. You learned to look beneath the noise of circumstance, to question, to discern, to understand before reacting. At Sacred Step 7, Munikensho Deva Sthal, the 0 point, you entered guidance. You discovered the possibility of becoming still enough to receive. Not every direction needs to be forced. Sometimes clarity appears when we stop pushing for it. At Sacred Step 8, Devi Pyramid Recharge and Renewal, you entered renewal. You were reminded that beginning again is always possible. We can release what has exhausted us. We can make space for what restores us. At Sacred Step 9, Mount Kailash in my heart, you entered devotion. You learned that what is sacred need not always be somewhere far away. The mountain we seek outside may also rise quietly within us. At Sacred Step 10, the hugging wheel, you touch the wisdom of ages. You remembered that you did not arrive here alone. Countless lives, experiences, relationships, and moments have shaped the person standing here now. And at Sacred Step 11, Hanuman Sthal, you encountered perseverance. You learned that transformation does not mean the road becomes easy. It means something within you has learned to continue. And now there is no next sacred space. There is only homecoming. Perhaps homecoming is not about returning to the person who began this journey. Perhaps it is returning to the same life with different eyes. You noticed, you heard, you felt, you created, you trusted, you understood, you received, you renewed, you bowed, you remembered, and you continued. These were never 11 separate lessons, they were 11 ways of meeting yourself. The sacred spaces remain here, but what they awaken does not have to remain here. You carry it with you into your relationships, into your choices, into ordinary mornings, into difficult days, into moments when you forget everything you discovered here. Because transformation is not something we complete at the end of a path. It begins when we return to life. This is homecoming. Not the end of the journey. The moment the journey becomes yours. A moment to reflect. As you return to your life, what will you choose to carry home within you?